A wonderful good morning, dear Composites fans, Launchmitglieder, and JEC World exhibitors or visitors that is coming up end of April. I'm really honored to have here the leadership of the JEC Group, Mr. Eric Pierjean and Thomas Lepret. They are making this JEC World the biggest show ever. And the thing I was wondering, and this is the show that is about, is why should component designers and R&D engineers visit this event? Eric, I will pass it immediately on to you before we talk about the JEC. Why should they visit you?
Well, I will. Thanks for asking me that question, Ilkay. I will come to that, but we have to consider that the show, the event, is not only focusing on designer and R&D engineers. Of course, they are the core audience, but the success of JEC World it goes beyond this core audience because for several reasons. The show is about business. It's about corporate presenting themselves, making deals, making partnerships. It's also about countries or regions presenting what they have to offer, what is their industry, what they offer to corporates to settle in these areas. It's also about investors looking for startups or companies they can finance to take advantage of their growth. It's also about human resources, about young talents with companies, universities attracting students or young talents, young professionals. So finally, it's much more than the core audience of R&D people and engineers who are of course essential to the show, but it's far beyond, and that's something we have to consider. And I will come back to your question very soon, because of course it's now we are ready to welcome all these people, and I'd like to tell you more about this. Finally, I think we all have to consider also that the show has always been developed for many years, not only as the gathering of the industry, as the trade show of the industry. It is also a festival of composites, so that people who know only a few about composites, who sometimes didn't know about composites, they can discover what composites can offer, be inspired, and maybe think about what they could do with composite that they were not aware of before. So that's why on top of the trade show, you have this promotion aspect of composites, which is very at the core proposition of JEC World, and that's what has been making it success for so many years. So maybe we can go more into detail afterwards, but it's because this what I presented about JEC World in a few words is also based on JEC Group mission,
Absolutely stunning, and I like the idea that you are giving a very rounded picture on this composites show that even includes the talents of these markets. So we've jumped directly into my question and the title of this LinkedIn Live with you guys. But I would like now to formally introduce you also for those that have not met you before, which would be a mystery, but it can happen, of course, because we are here on LinkedIn in a very wide community with over, with 900 million members on LinkedIn, and there will be always some members that they don't know the key players here. So Eric is the CEO of JEC Group, basically responsible for anything that goes on this media hub. He will introduce us a little more now in detail, the JEC Group. And then we got Thomas Lepret on my other side, and he is the VP of exhibitions and sales, and he has also a lot of detailed information for you guys on what will be going on, what will be offered on the JEC floor on the 25th to the 27th of April. So if you are in the composite scene, if you are in lightweight technologies, if you are interested in new materials, then the JEC is the show to go, the event to go. Yeah, then I would say, Eric, please, introduce us JEC a little more for those who probably know JEC but not so in the detail. What is the JEC about? And also, by the way, congratulations to the 60th birthday.
Thank you, Ilkay. And you mentioned LinkedIn, and people can follow us, of course, on LinkedIn. We have more than 22,000 followers, so it's already a great community, and it's also based on really on our mission. And maybe we can go to some through some slides we've prepared for you on also the market, but also about JEC activities. Our mission in a nutshell is connecting the world with composite, and in fact this is based on our mission and our history too. The company and the organization has been created in the 60s, and you mentioned it's our 60th anniversary. In fact, the organization has been founded on the 15th of March 1963. It's owned by stakeholders of the industry, and from the beginning our mission is fully and entirely dedicated to the composite materials community. We are promoting all kinds of composites and all types of composites and all applications. We are not focused on one region or one country, and we act globally on all markets and all countries worldwide. We are supporting also a very diverse approach, supporting diversity, inclusion, and promoting international dialogue between all the communities. And finally, we act as a non-profit organization, which means that we are reinvesting our revenues into our missions, which are, in fact, very simple to summarize. It's connecting the world with composites. And it started 60 years ago. You mentioned it's this anniversary. And in fact, we started with media. We started with a promotion bulletin at that time in the 60s, which has, of course, expanded to a wide media offer. Today, we have the magazine, which is famous in the industry. We have newsletters, the market news. We have publications, and we also have a digital channel, which is the web TV. So this is 60 years of sharing content, of sharing knowledge. And by the way, for this birthday, I can offer you to download the new JEC app, in which you will find the current magazine issue. And by the way, this is the preview of JEC World 2023. But you also have, I think, almost 100 past issues of the magazine that you can read very easily on the app. You also have the market news and so on. So if you scan the QR code, you should be able, if it works, to download this app. Now I'm going to talk about the observer, because every year we provide an annual observer of the composite industry, giving market data, but also forecast. And we focus also on the trends that are in the application sectors of composites and that are driving the demand of composites. And with a presentation of these trends, I think it's also a kind of presentation of JEC World. When we're talking about the market, we're in fact talking about what's going on at JEC World. And this is coming back to your question. Let's talk about JEC World, why people should visit JEC World. And but let's look at it with some market data. First of all, there is a first reason to attend JEC World. It's about knowing what composite can offer. And sometimes it's not only about some, let's say, basic principles, because the composite industry is always inventing, is always creating. So there are many properties of composites that are not so well known. So the first reason, in a way, is to know more about composites, even for people who know quite well composites. Of course, a lot of people know that they are light, that they have an exceptional strength to weight ratio. But there are additional properties that are important for many application sectors that we have to promote in terms of application in the medical area, in the oil and gas area. There are many properties. And we are still inventing in the industry new and smart applications of composite based on these properties. So the first reason is that. And the second one, which is more and more important, is that composites are offering more and more solutions for sustainability and for fighting against climate warming. And because they are lighter, because they are stronger, they last longer, they can offer unlimited possibilities for a more sustainable world. And this is another reason to attend. People are all looking for sustainable solutions in terms of industries, in terms of applications. And this is a second element, and we're going to talk about very much at JEC World this year. The third reason, and this is again going back to the market, it's about the growth of composite. Since the 60s, there has been a continuous growth of the market of composites, reaching now 12.7 million tons of composite products that have been developed last year in 2022, offsetting the let's say the lost market during the pandemic. So it's a continuous growth because there is more and more adoption, and as I said, the properties of composites are helping them to gain market share in many application sectors. And we don't expect this growth to be stabilized because there are more and more markets traction in different regions of the world. So our forecast in the Observer for this year is to grow from 12.7 million tons this year up to more than 15 tons in 2027. So a continuous growth with some key markets like Asia, like North America, and also Europe. So let's say another reason to attend is to be part of this growing development of composites, which is, as I said, balanced between different continents. Some are strong in terms of volume of applications. Some are stronger in terms of value. But basically, it's a global business with many markets. The other point in coming back to JEC World is that our mission has always been to bring the whole value chain of composite together. It's not a show only on raw materials or on manufacturing, on processes, or on end users. The show is covering the whole value chain of composites from the beginning, from the raw materials up to the final industries, and that makes it quite unique. That's what I mentioned also in terms of Festival of Composites. You know, all the industry integrators that are also present at the show, they are part of this Festival of Composites, showing what they can deliver to other markets. And this is a market worth more than $105 billion globally of parts and components that are delivered to the markets. Maybe another reason to attend is that we are covering all type of fibers, not only carbon, not only glass, not only natural fibers. The show, of course, covers all these elements, and even if sometimes you can get the impression that carbon is very strong because it's some added value, very high added value applications. A glass market is remaining a very strong part of the market with more than 76% in terms of value. So we are covering the whole market in terms of fibers. And this is the same for the matrix, for the resins, because the market is balanced between thermoplastic and thermosets. And of course, the show is about all these matrices, including the new coming and so on. So, you know, for the engineers, it's about all the raw materials, all the components, and of course, as part of what they can see at the show, they can get information about all the application sectors. And we have identified, let's say, in all our activities, a list of key sectors that are covering the whole industry in terms of applications. And I'm going to talk about the processes also. In a way, it's also a reason to attend the show because you have processes going on, you have machines presenting, you have equipment manufacturing presented at the show. And this is also what makes the industry quite unique, is that it has several processes, various processes, from very manual ones, hand layup, up to a very automized, standardized one in, for example, 3D printing or filament winding that are continuous. And the variety of processes enable adoption in very different application sectors. So that's also a very interesting point in the industry, is that you have this range of processes that can open many markets and that can fit to the demand of construction, automotive, electronics, and so on. Another reason to attend the show. We try also to have a strong focus on different topics, and especially the application sectors. And if you consider that the situation is quite different from one application sector to the other, we'll showcase especially three topics today at JEC World this year. It's about for example, the automotive sector, the construction sector, and the mobility sector, to show what are the different challenges in this context. But we'll come back to this later. Any questions maybe from your side, Ilka, because you asked me one question, that I gave you several answers.
Yeah, community, you will see me very rarely speechless. But right now, Eric, I'm speechless.
Why?
The number of reasons why people should go, our community should go to JEC, they are endless. And really, you flashed me with all these arguments. And I have to say, and they are all valid. Yeah, I know JEC for many, many decades now myself. But what you have planned here right now is really astonishing. Yeah. And I really congratulate you and your team for building up these nice arguments. Yeah, that this show will be really that show for anyone involved in this industry. I liked, of course, the way you have presented the numbers. And you also said that it's not only about carbon and composites, it's all about all the other fibers and matrices. What I've seen with the matrices, maybe it's not so important yet, but can you give me an indication? How about the other two? One that I've missed is ceramic matrix composites and elastomeric matrices. Do they play a role at JEC, or have they never played a role? If so, why?
No, there are. When I showed the chart, of course, the volume zooms on the key matrices, but there are additional in our exhibitor profile and in the directory of all the exhibitors and the technical solutions. There are some specific applications like ceramic matrix or carbon components also, but there are niche applications. I didn't mention aramide, for example. Of course, aramide is also on one side a very important, but also a niche market. And there are plenty of other fibers that I did not mention, a long list, but of course they are part of the show and of our activities, because we try to cover and we look at all the different types of fibers and matrices. But you've seen on the chart that glass fiber and carbon fiber are getting a lot of attraction, of course, on one side because of the volume of the flexibility of what you can do with glass fiber, and of course the high performance of carbon.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm glad you mentioned aramid, for example, that we have a couple of manufacturers like Teijin, who is also known for aramids in their protection solution markets, for example. I embrace composites as a material that consists of minimum two components. And you can talk about composites also not only about the fiber reinforced polymers or CFRPs. It can be anything. And And I'm sure also from my old past, for example, thermal heat technology, we have visited all our suppliers in the fiber sector from silica and ceramics, and they are also at the JEC, because it's not only used in composites, like you said before. There are many different applications for the kind of materials that are on the display.
And you know, it's also an open definition, and as I said, the industry is still inventing. Even in the carbon fiber area, there are research on finding new precursors for carbon fiber, and there are also natural fibers. And by the way, it's our role also to amplify maybe signals that are at the moment until now at a low level in terms of presence on the market, but are very promising for new applications and to open new markets. So we don't have let's say a defined box or playground on which we play and we do not open. The composite industry has shown from the beginning that it was able to expand by offering new kind of fibers, new kind of matrices also. The show is not focusing on thermoset, otherwise we would lose the development of and would not consider the development of thermoplastics. Today we're talking about bio-based matrices and so on. So it's expanding, and this is our role to really put the light on all these elements, even if the core proposition of the market is, of course, on the main fibers and matrices. You know, maybe one word, one last reason to attend is that it's not only JEC World. It's and you can see it on the following slide if you put it on the screen. It's about a composite week that we have in Paris, because on the Monday, we have the SAMPI Summit in Paris, taking place downtown. And the 3 days following, from Tuesday to Thursday, you have JEC World. So you have a combination which is unique of SAMPI and JEC World event that are making this Composites Week this year. And I'm proud to say that we have extended this partnership with SAMPI, so that it will be like that for many years to come. So another last reason to attend JEC World.
Another one. It doesn't stop actually. But Eric, just be so kind, and for those who don't know SAMPI too much, I know a lot of business people are not so much in the institutional side. And I understand SAMPI is very much linked to academia. Can you say a few words about SAMPI?
Yes, I think it's a great organization which is global with many chapters worldwide, from North America to China, Japan, France, Germany. I was yesterday at the SAMPI Germany event. It's mixing business and science. And university also. So it's a bit upstream before the market. So it's early stage compared to, let's say, a go-to market, what we are presenting at the show. So it's very complementary with what we do. And SAMPI is a great organization, and I invite many engineers and young talents in the industry to join SAMPI as a global organization.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for enlightening us also with the SAMPI. And anyone who is at JEC World may consider to go the day before to the SAMPI gathering. So, gentlemen, shall we have a look at our comments that are coming in and greet our guests here? So we got one is Aditya. He says, JEC is a festival of composites and we are waiting for the celebrations. Absolutely. I also have a question on the celebration side. Then, so true, JEC is a festival of composites, yes. And then,
well, you know, that it's a we see in the comments that people are happy to come back, and I must say that great news this year is that compared to last year was the welcome back after the pandemic times, with some countries that were not so easily able to join us, but this year we will have the whole world, and people from India, from China, from Japan, from South Korea, and from other regions in the world that were, let's say, in trouble to visit us last time. They are back, and they are back to this global stage, and I'm very, very happy to welcome them again. I know they are eager to come. I was in India in January, and really I felt that the people were waiting to come to JEC. So happy to celebrate this comeback of many countries.
Yeah, we are also really thirsty for again personal relationships, fostering the relationships, and also touching all these brilliant advanced materials that are coming up. So then we got Helmut here. I don't know, Helmut, from where are you tuning in? Everyone who is now tuning in, just leave a comment in the chat so we can measure our reach here. And then we got Ludwig, one of our most loyal viewers. He says he really likes it. And then, yeah, we are covered for now. So if you have switched on later to this LinkedIn Live, just wait for the end, and then you can watch it in the replay. Nice that you are attending our show. Just write down in the comments from where you're tuning in, and send all your questions and comments that you have for the JEC 2023. As you heard from Eric, it will be the largest event ever. Yeah, it will be the largest gathering in the world. We are meeting all in Paris for these nice celebrations, and I'm looking forward to that. So let me continue with my questions then, Eric, if you allow. My
Yes.
first question to you is, you have hold a very short presentation during our Composites launch conference on the 7th of March, which we hold as a hybrid convention from the AZL, which is in the RWTH Aachen. And you've mentioned there was a steady growth for the last 60 years, and you said it's always good, to monitor the trends. And you have seen over the years, composites have always grown. Yeah, maybe in 2020 when the lockdowns came, there was a short dive. But other than that, you have always seen a trend in the growth of the markets, which were also evidenced by your charts that you have shown that, 105 billion, if I remember right, is the market on the global side. What other trends did you discover in your study?
Well, there is, if you show, for example, the chart that I've put on screen, we expect this growth to be, in fact, in all sectors of applications, in all the key sectors of applications, because either the demand for composite in these sectors is growing with the expansion of this sector. This is, for example, what happens in the wind industry. The wind industry, we have, of course, a very strong market share of composites versus other materials, because the blades are made mainly with composites. So, of course, the more blades, the more wind turbines, onshore, offshore, or other renewable energies like tidal and so on are developed, the more we sell composites. So we follow the growth of these sectors, and as you can imagine, renewable energy is growing. And in the observer, you can see the planned onshore and offshore development. They are driving the demand. In other sectors, the demand is maybe not linked to the volume expansion, but is linked to some technological challenges. And let's take automotive, for example. The growth of automotive is not the same as wind turbines, for example. But in the automotive industry, you have new applications that are linked to electrification of vehicles, hydrogen becoming a future, let's say, a fuel for the fuel cell vehicles. So this will drive the demand for composites in battery casing, in pressure vessels, and that goes far, by the way, far behind simply the car industry, because it's also about trucks, it's also about trains, and even in some countries that we see already applications targeting a further means of transportation. So you have sectors where the growth of the sector is driving demand for composites. But you also have some sectors where you have challenges, technological challenges that are asking for new solutions from composites. And aerospace is doing both, because after the pandemic, there is a strong ramp up of air traffic and also planes production and development, but also some technological challenges about the future aircrafts, to decarbonate them, so to make them lighter, to have new fuels, to have new engines. We've seen several types of new engines, for example, the open air with a lot of blades, propeller blades. So in the aerospace sector, you have the growth of the sector, but on top, you have the technological challenges to address. And of course, composites are able to address some of the challenges ahead.
Yeah, I think also that the aerospace industry is already matured in that the amount of lightweight components or composite components is maxed out. I think they have already tried whatever is possible to replace it, and the Dreamliner is an example for this. That 50% of the weight is already carried by lightweight technologies. But you've mentioned, for example, the ship industry or the railway. I have a train station in front of me here. I'm living in a very cozy small village here in the northern part of Bavaria. And when I see all the silo trains coming by, and one of these wagons is 10 tons, I'm really wondering, why don't they take the pressure vessels from carbon, for example, and save weight? There's so much still to do on this end.
Well, you know that on passenger trains, you already a lot of application of composites for the exterior parts, for the aerodynamic elements, even for the interior elements. If you are on the right lines in Germany, you will see some trains with hydrogen pressure vessels on top, the so-called Coralia made by Alstom. So you see more and more applications of composite. But as you mentioned, for heavy transportation, it's not the case as far as I know. And there is one last sector which is a huge potential for composites. It's construction. In the market share compared to wind energy or aerospace of composites in construction is still very low for many reasons, but we have in front of us a lot of opportunities because of the properties of composites. You know, the resistance to corrosion, the resistance to thermal expansion, the opportunity to reinforce concrete with fiberglass or carbon fiber rebars or grids and so on. And you have very good examples in Germany with the cube carbon beton house that has been built in Dresden. So that there is a bunch of opportunities of markets to be open in the construction with infrastructures, with new buildings, but also with water, sewage, storage, and transportation. So in that case, as you said, it's not a mature market because the end user are not fully aware of what we can deliver. And in that kind of market, the industry has to explain what are the properties, what we can deliver, and also work on the norms and the standardization. And there are some good progresses made in several areas. In the United States, the American Concrete Institute has given some guidelines. In Europe, it's coming too. So there has been a tremendous work done by architects, engineers, and the people that are working on norms to make composites accepted in building industry. And some areas, like Middle East, for example, have gone very far in terms of use of non-metallic reinforcement in concrete. So there are some areas worldwide where it's already well developed. But I think there's still a huge potential in the construction industry, and this will be one of the topics addressed in the conference program of JEC World this year on construction.
Yeah. So the one of the major functions then of JEC World is also, of course, to get out these insecurities of engineers or component designers. You know, that was probably one of the major blocks to these advanced materials, that in the past they were saying, okay, these materials are probably not crash resistant. They don't have impact resistance. They can't take too much internal pressure and things like that. But the world has changed since then a lot. And I would advise anyone who is in the truck industry, in the train industry, railway, rolling stock, also ship industry. Yeah, we have a lot of need in order to get ships lighter and corrosion resistant in future. That's also a major market there. So now we have a nice bridge to my next question. Can you reflect on the major themes on the JEC World? What is currently on top at JEC World?
Well, the main motto of the event, and this was already the case in 22, is about sustainability. This will be a strong part of our conference program. But it's not only us, it's mainly, it's a big topic for the whole industry, and a lot of companies are addressing this by bringing new solutions on the market, by showing what they can deliver for a more sustainable world. So again, in 23, we will have a strong program on that, and I think Thomas will come back to it later.
Yes. I'm back. Yes, we will have Thomas in a moment here because I wanted to get all the strategic knowledge known, and then we will dive into the technical side and what's going on in the show floor. So another and last question to you, Eric, in the first round will be, there are some keynotes that are published from the application sectors. Which 3 application sectors are we talking here?
Well, we're talking on 3 main topics. It was difficult to cover all the key application sectors, but one of them is construction. We just recently talked about it together. So there's one keynote on this topic. The second one is on the future aircraft. So as I mentioned, aerospace, even if it's a major market, is still challenging itself to propose new technologies. The third keynote in terms of end user conference is about mobility and mobility of the future. So these are, let's say, transportation, construction, and aerospace, 3 big topics. But we will also have some interesting keynotes, for example, from Roland Jourdain, who is a famous sailor, transatlantic and around the world, and he is also an investor in composites on natural fibers. So he's both a sailor and an entrepreneur. And by the way, his company Kairos gained last year an innovation award at JEC World. So he's going to talk about his philosophy in sailing and natural fibers and so on. It will be a great keynote too.
Okay, wonderful keynotes, very, very inspiring, and I'm looking very much forward to it. Now, Eric, I would say I give you a pause now because you had to introduce so many slides, and you have really extensively answered comprehensively all my questions. I give you a pause right now so you can lean back and relax, and I would like to take Thomas Lepret into the show. Thank you for now. And for all our viewers that are still here, thank you for watching this show. So we are talking about JEC World 2023 that will be conducted on the 25th to the 27th of April. If you haven't got your badge yet, make sure that you do your electronic ticketing so that you don't have any hassles once you arrive in Villepinte. And now let me take Thomas Lepret into our show. Thomas, so when I hear all these plans and all these reasons to come to JEC World, I can only assume how busy you are at this crunch time. So is it a correct impression?
Yeah, good morning, Ilkay. Good morning, everyone. It's a very super busy time, but also a very exciting time as we are in the last lane to the show end of April. So we're really looking forward to it.
Okay, so a few words about you maybe. So what is a VP of Events, Sales and Operations for our community? Explain in a nutshell, what is your responsibility?
Well, my responsibility is super simple. I'm in charge of making sure that the show happens and making sure that the show is as successful as we know it for the last years.
Okay, that's a very very nutshell. That's absolutely right. So we have all these visitors coming and exhibitors who have already booked their booth. Is there any place that short notice exhibitors still can book a booth with you, or are you sold out?
No, we are. Our sales are currently shut down. We're focusing on producing the 23 event and starting to sell the 24 event.
I see.
So
okay.
We prefer, to have the luxury to focus on doing the things we need to do the right way and making sure that the event is the event we all wait for.
Absolutely. And next year will be another opportunity. Wonderful.
Exactly.
So let's focus then on 2023. So what kind of exhibitors and what kind of visitors do you expect this year on the show floor?
Well, Eric has said something that is really important about JEC and about JEC World is that the show is the show of the industry of every type of composites material. So every type of companies, of organization that is involved in the industry will be at JEC World. So we are looking forward to welcoming 1,200 exhibitors that can be startups, small and medium companies, big corporations, but also universities, research centers, consulting firms, service firms. So all these 1,200 exhibitors will be there at the end of the month. We are also looking forward to receiving 35,000 attendees from more than 112 countries. So people will be flying, driving or taking train from all over the world to connect in Paris during these 3 days. We will have 26 pavilions at the event. So we will have for the first time a Japanese pavilion. So we're very happy about that. Chinese pavilion, South Korean pavilion, US pavilion, so really from everywhere in the world. And all these people will gather in Villepinte for 3 days on 72,000 square meters of exhibition space to connect, to discuss, to innovate, to make business, and to create new business opportunities for composites in the coming years.
So that's quite a number, 112 countries. I mean, we have only 200 countries maybe in across the globe,
yes.
Whereas a few countries certainly are not in the composite production. So that basically means any country that is involved in fiber reinforced polymers, in all the processes from the raw material to the substrates to the final product will be coming up to your show. So are we back to business? Would you say that? Because many people forget that we are just coming out of a lockdown. Are we back to business, would you say?
Yeah, I would say we're back to business. Exactly. We have seen in the last month a big push on the exhibitor side for companies that were willing to come back to exhibit at JEC World. And I'm talking about specifically Chinese companies that were used to be there for years, could not make it in 22 because of the COVID situation, and are now really eager to be back in Paris. So we'll have all our key players from China that are going to be there, but also the small and medium companies from China that used to be there that will be back. So for the visitors, it will really be the full product, the full service offering of the industry that will be present at the end of April in Paris. So we are really happy about that. If you can maybe, please, Ilkay, show the slide on the exhibitor countries. The next one, please. Yes, so on the exhibitor side, we will have 44 countries, and as I said, 112 countries on the visitor side. So you will see that we have these 112 countries. 30% of our visitors will come from France, 53% from Europe, 5% from North and South America, 9% Asia Pacific, and 2% Middle East, 1% Africa. So we expect our top 5 countries to be France, Germany, Italy, Great Britain, and the US. So potentially in the coming year, China will come back in these 5 most important countries, and we are really looking forward to it. So as I said, it will be the full speed event that we used to know before the pandemic. And we expect this edition to be really a very, very high level and potentially the best of all time. We talk as well on you talk as well with Eric on the trends and what we're going to see at JEC. As Eric mentioned, we are going to see a lot on sustainability as the industry is really shaping up to produce more efficiently, produce on a better way, and also deliver new types of materials for composites. So we'll have the sustainability theme that will be explored on 4 different tracks. First one is Green is the New Black, talking about natural fibers, bio-based polymers, and how the industry is bringing them to a level of performance similar to carbon, for example. Another topic will be less is better, and focusing on reducing the waste, the cost to produce, the energy and the time to make sure that the composites are not only reducing the CO2 emissions to move like a plane or a car, but are also produced on a more sustainable way to be on a virtuous circle. The third track for sustainability will be on the 4 R's: recycling, reusing, repurposing, and repairing of composites. And the last topic will be the lightweight made in Europe, with the presence of a European Commission officer, which is George Kotsikos. So we're really looking forward to it as well. On the other topics that we are going to explore, you discussed that with Eric as well, but just to give some more details to our viewers, we will have 2 keynote speeches from end user. One is from Greg Lynn, which is an architect and entrepreneur that we give some trends and some feedbacks and inputs on the composites innovation in architecture, how composites can make a building more durable or with more freedom of design and so on. Second keynote speaker will be Roland Jourdain, famous skipper and the founder of Keros, who is completely focused and dedicated to promote the use of natural fiber in boat racing. So he will talk a lot about that and his experience with the flax fiber composite boat on the Route du Rhum. And then 3 more conferences: Aircraft of the Future, with some inputs on the projects from Airbus and Boeing on the new medium aircraft planes. Then we will have Composites in Construction, with building towards a stronger and more sustainable future, where we will talk about composites in architecture, composites rebars, composites with concrete, and so on. And then the last one will be on the future of transportation with composites. Also, we will have this year 2 country on stage program, which are dedicated to let the industry know what is going on in specific region of the world. So the first one will be focused on Michigan, which is the home base of the US auto industry, but also one of the most successful states for composites production in the US, because they have a huge network of companies, research centers, university, a full ecosystem working together. And the second country on stage will be on the South Korea Republic and on the Korean market, giving example on the use of composites for mobility, the promotion of hydrogen transportation, the use of recycling and the use of recycled carbon fiber for transportation as well. You will see also at JEC all the animations, regular ones, but also new ones that makes it a very successful show. So you will see our Composites Village, our campus with universities presenting their program on composites. You will see our innovation planets, and I will discuss that more in a couple of minutes. And also, of course, our 2 key innovation programs, Startup Booster and the Innovation Awards. For the villages, we will have 5 themes for 2023. First one will be on 3D printing, which is a very hot trend in the industry. Second one will be on natural fibers. We are co-organizing this with the European Alliance for Flax, Linen and Hemp. Third one will be on the startups. Then we will have one for the small and medium companies and one on the campus. The startup and SME village are great to visit because this allows the visitors to connect with new young and small and medium companies that come sometimes for the first time at JEC, so they bring something new to the market, new processes, new products. So please take time to see them at the show. It will be very interesting. First time for 2023, we will be organizing on the first day, 27th, so the third day of the show, Human Resource Day. We know that attracting talents, finding the right staff for the composites industry is a challenge for the company. So we wanted to gear the show towards helping students to connect with companies looking for new employees, and on the other side, helping our exhibitors, our composites suppliers and companies to connect with the new generation of talent. So we will have this Human Resource Day with 3 key presentations. First one will be join the composite industry and contribute to a more sustainable future. The second one, will be on empowering women in the composites industry and promoting inclusion in the composite industry. And the third one will be an opportunity for the universities that are having a strong composites program to present it to students and to say exactly what they are doing for composites training. Some of you are really familiar with that, but to give you some example, the planet is really something that you must see at the event. We are welcoming in 2023 some of the most impressive and some of the biggest parts that we ever had on display. So we will have 2 planets at the show. First one will be on mobility, and with some impressive aerospace parts. So you will see a 17.5 meters wing spar from the Wing of Tomorrow program. This wing spar is made out of autoclave and will be displayed on the mobility planet. You will see also some fuselage parts from the A220. We will have some hydrogen electric vehicles parts as well. We will have a very good example of parts consolidation allowed by composites with the 2022 Toyota Tundra seat back that used to be 60 parts in metal and is now 4 parts in composites. So a very nice example of what composites design can achieve. We were talking also, Ilkay, on trains and ground transportation. We will have for the first time the largest part ever welcomed at JEC. So it's a 14 meters long train car body from the Spanish manufacturer Talgo. You will be able to see it, to go inside of it, to see which parts are made out of composites in that car body and so on. So it will be really nice to see. On the other hand, on the industry planet, we will have a few composite boats made of natural fibers. So we are looking forward to showing that to our attendees as well. You will see lightweight solar panels with composites to be able to install them on roof that are old and not designed to take a lot of weight. We will have some cell phone antenna towers in carbon, a lot of things, and some really, really impressive and new things. Also, brand new that we will see on the show will be the 20 finalists from the Startup Booster contest. And you will be able to see new startups for the first time at JEC from everywhere in the world. So we have startups from Egypt, startups from New Zealand, Singapore, Canada, USA, everywhere in the world, with 2 types of startups, one presenting innovations on materials and products. So we will see a lot of things biosourced. So we'll have some people with bamboo fibers, people that are doing adhesives thanks to mimetized glue that they mimetize from mussels. So really some disruptive things. And on the process side, which is the second category, we will have some startups offering solutions in softwares to optimize productions, some startups that are offering solutions in recycling as well, for both carbon and glass fiber composites. The Innovation Awards. We have held our ceremony on March 2nd. The winners are known. You can find them on the JEC website. What is important this year is that it's the 25th birthday of the Innovation Awards contest at JEC. So we had, during these 25 years, hundreds of innovation that have been awarded. But this year we have some exceptional things as well. Winners from the Innovation Awards come from every type of end user industry. So we have, for example, project from Porsche that have been awarded, but also the new composite roof for the Real Madrid Stadium has been an awarded project. So I really invite you to go see what the Innovation Awards winners are for this year, what the finalists were also, because they have presented some very interesting things, and have a look at the show on the booth of the winners and the finalists to talk about their innovation for this year. And that's pretty much it, Ilkay. I think between the points that Eric brought on the table to convince people to come and everything that they are going to be able to see at the event, that seems really exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, you both guys have listed anything that is humanly imaginable that you put on. So my focus would be this train body. You said it's 40 or 14 meters long.
It's 14 meters long, 1/4.
1/4, yeah. That's a lot of weight reduction, yeah, for a 14 meter made from steel in the past, and now it's a composite part. So I'm really eager to see that, and I will certainly go inside it and have a look at it. So it's very rounded, that project and the campaign that you are bringing up to the table here for our visitors and the exhibitors of JEC World. Do you have a personal favorite? What about you, Thomas?
Well, and it's just a personal advice, but I think what is really exciting to see. I've been in JEC for 10 years, and I've been really seeing that trend for the last 3-4 years. Is that everything that the industry is doing to get more sustainable, to get more environmental friendly. We used to say that composites were environmental friendly because they allowed weight reduction to move a train, a car, or a plane. But right now we're really seeing more and more efforts from everyone in the industry, small companies to really big corporates, on making things more sustainable, more environmental friendly, saving energy, and so on and so on. And I think that this trend from the industry, for me, is the most exciting thing to see. And we are really trying to amplify everything that is being done in terms of sustainability to get a new, let's say, to give a new vision to the industry on that. It's really about this, and also on the event management side, our vision is to be a super sustainable event within a super sustainable industry. So we are doing also a lot of things as much as we can to recycle, to reuse, to repurpose, and to reduce waste everywhere.
In addition to the longevity of composites that are long-lasting and have a long durability in any case.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me come back to one of the novelties with the HR section that you brought up. So within HR, obviously, I have a huge community here on LinkedIn in HR, from recruiters to personal developers. One thing that comes up often is, of course, personal development, training. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you have lined up within the JEC group? I would be surprised if you haven't.
No, we have done things. We have enlightened and amplified last year a lot on what a French company, a French startup is doing, which is called Composites Academy, and they are doing online and on-site training for composites people with the objective of improving the skills of the workers on some very specific things, so they can do training on processes, but also training on materials. So we've been doing this. We've been focusing a lot on university relationships at the show. Our one of our key points is to say, okay, JEC World is showing what is the offering of products, of materials, but it also needs to be the showcase of what the training solutions are for personal developments for people. So we are building bridges and building and reinforcing relationships within universities. We are as well preparing a directory of universities involved in composites. We are doing all this to let's say, develop talent and make sure that the composite industry is as attractive as it really is to the youngsters.
Okay, understood. So, Thomas, let me come back to the innovation part. And this is basically my last question to you before I get also Eric back to the show. The innovation part. Now, you are fostering innovation with awards, for instance, but I'm also sensing a sort of an innovative flow in your program, in your dealings. You are coming up with innovative formats all the time. Is that part of JEC Group's DNA? How would you say this as a VP of events?
Our DNA, and that's the philosophy we have at JEC Group, is that we don't want to keep doing the things the same old way. So we are changing as much as we can, as soon as we can, on as many topics as we can. And so that's why, as an organization that is dedicated to developing the composites industry, we really need to be pushing the areas where the industry needs to has potential for development. So as Eric said, on terms of final markets, we have some markets where we are very mature, like wind energy, and we have markets where we are not mature at all, like construction. But we also sense, for example, that aerospace, when the new replacement for the A320 and the 737 will be let's say in development, there will be a huge opportunity for composites. So we are on the forefront of saying, okay, let's give people from the end users and from the industry a place to talk, to discuss, and to share what the next advancements will be. So yes, we are promoting innovation on that as well. And we are promoting innovation on ourselves with, okay, what else can we bring to the industry? What new services can we bring to the exhibitors? Because that's the DNA. We are here to fully support that industry, and that's what we are focusing on.
Absolutely. Can you agree with that, Eric?
Fully, and it's also to be connected with the world. Huh? It's our mission, and being able to provide the right tools for the industry, the right promotion tools for composites. I presented you the new app. This is because we all live with apps and smartphones and tablets. So how can we read the magazine and the news in a better way? We introduced a web TV because we are convinced, and we have seen that the industry is eager to show how you produce composites. It's not a black box, the industry, the composite industry. People are showing how parts are made, technologies are developed, and so on. And there's no better way to show it than to use video. That's why we introduced the web TV. And I hope we will have more developments in that area in the future with maybe augmented reality, virtual reality, because these are the tools we need to use to better bring the message to the community and beyond to end users.
So that's the main point, to get the message over to as many people as is possible, because we have still a lot to do with composites. We are still scratching on the surface of other hard materials like steel and so on. Good. So we are coming slowly to the end, Eric. We were talking initially about celebrations, and this is a festival. What we haven't touched so far, is there any celebration going on site that you are aware of?
Well, I talked a little bit about our birthday of 60 years, but we are not the most important part. The most important part are the birthdays of many companies, because as we have our 60th birthday, there are many companies that are going to celebrate their achievement, their history, and their development over the years. And I think the first thing we have to celebrate all together is to be all back together. the whole world of composites will be reunited again after this difficult times we had during the pandemic. That's the main celebration. And being back together brings us to another celebration, which is innovation, business, and further developments of composite. Because my personal expectation now is to talk with people to see what they are presenting, what they are innovating on, because we have to prepare the next one. And
Absolutely.
also during the year to communicate on all the innovations that are going to be presented at JEC World. It's also the place to bring new products, new solutions on the market, and this will happen again. There will be premieres, new technologies, new products, and so on, and this will give let's say material and stories to be told in our media along the year until the next JEC World.
Yeah, let me take Thomas one more time into the picture. So talking about the next version, 2024, the good news is that the distance between 23 and 24 JEC editions is shorter than usual, right? Why is this?
That's a very good news for you. That's a very stressful one for our team. But yes, the distance will be shorter, will be beginning of March in 24, and we'll be starting to work like crazy on it in the next coming weeks.
Wonderful. Okay. So, gentlemen, I have no more questions for you. Thank you so much for being my guest today on this LinkedIn live show, which we have streamed now in parallel on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And all the podcast guests who are listening to this on the podcast, I hope it will be soon available so that you still can get your ticket for the batch. Let me show it one more time. Here you can get the app or the link to the register. So register for this event. And as the gentleman says, unfortunately, the sales for the exhibitions is closed, but you can line up already now for 2024. And I'm sure next year, which is only then 10 months from this exhibition away, there will be a lot of more innovations coming up soon. In the meanwhile, Eric, we will meet after JEC World in Paris. We will meet also in Bologna. Maybe you can say a few words about that. And JEC Forum Dach in Salzburg.
Exactly. I think we are not only organizing the JEC World global event, which is let's say the pinnacle event of the industry, but we cooperate with local associations, and so either if they have already an event by themselves, like in India, in China, or in the US, but we also have developed some local events in the DACH region. So JEC Forum DACH is taking place every year in a different city, in a different land, in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. This time it will be in Austria, in Salzburg. Last year it was in Augsburg. So JEC Forum DACH is at the end of October on 23rd, and sooner we will have a first premiere of JEC Forum Italy, beginning of June, to bring together the Italian community of composite. And we also have local events that we do around the world to activate the community, to get to know what's going on also there, and to promote them in our media channels. That what we are doing along the year. And maybe as a last gift, if the video works, I will give you a 2-minute teaser of JEC World to show what you can expect in Paris at the end of April.
Okay, let's try.
Let's try. Here we are.
Yes, see you in April. Last slide. Wonderful video. I'm sure it has streamed very fluidly here on LinkedIn. If not, I'm sure you got it on your web TV portal also for the replay. Yeah, great video, great trailer. Actually, I need that for some of my other promotions, because I'm lucky to have the opportunity to also cover your JEC World on site. I will be there, in particular with my Composites 360 on tour hashtag. I'm really eager to see the innovations, the startups, and I will see some of our customers in the composite industry. And if you are there and you are looking for some further coverage on LinkedIn, call me, give me a note, and we will make it sure that I interview you on site. I believe you will have already designed this JEC World wall where we can do some nice pictures, photos, and interviews, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Waiting for you.
Absolutely. Good. So thank you so much. It was a bit of an extended version this time. We are over 1 hour 10, but that was really full of information, and the list goes on and on and on. And yeah, as I said, if you haven't watched this from the beginning, go back into my channel and watch it from the beginning. There are so many reasons why you need to attend JEC World on the 25th of April. There are so many reasons to, even if you cannot attend it this time, to watch all the JEC Group outlets, because JEC Group is not only an exhibition, it is also a media hub with many studies, with many magazines, and local and international content. So have a look at it. I would absolutely recommend it. And also, they have over 22,000 followers now on their LinkedIn page. Also follow, give it a like and a follow to their LinkedIn page, because they are, introducing every day the latest news from the composite industry, be it new materials, be it people that are changing to different roles. It's always an inspiring part to also watch and follow this. Thank you so much, Eric, for being part of our show.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
And Thomas, all the best in organizing this, but as far as I can judge, it will be a major success.
Thank you.
Keep fingers crossed. Thank you so much.
See you soon.
And thank you, community, for watching this live one more time.